Hi my loves and welcome to your slow flow vinyasa. We're going to get started today towards the back of our mats in a kneeling position. So when you feel ready coming to there, this is going to be a super nice class to kind of take slowly and take at your own pace. So just taking a moment as we start to ground. Now you've got the options here to take the knees wide, or maybe you take the knees together. So have a little play, notice what feels more comfortable. And when you're ready, just taking the head forwards and taking the hands down onto the thighs. Maybe you've got them palms facing down, so we're grounding down for the start of practice. And just starting by noticing the breath. So as always, start of class, just meeting that breath where it is. We're not trying to change it. Just being aware, noticing. So even in these moments of stillness, just noticing that breath moving through the body. So every inhale, maybe those shoulders rise just that little bit. Every exhale, we settle down. So just really allowing the body to be as still as possible here. And we'll just start by taking a releasing breath, so breathing in through the nose. Sighing out through the mouth. Just releasing. So allowing the body, even in this kneeling position, to just feel that little bit heavier, sinking down towards the ground. When we're ready, dropping chin down through the chest. You can keep the eyes closed here. Just starting to move through the neck. So taking the left ear around to the left shoulder. As we exhale, drawing that chin back through center. As we inhale, taking the right ear up to the right shoulder. So just moving between the two sides. Taking this at your own pace, so really moving with the speed of your own breath. And maybe you start to take the head all the way back, so you're opening up through the throat as you come the full way around, taking a circle. You're taking those full circles, making sure when you get back to center, you just go in the opposite direction. So just starting to stretch out the upper body. Taking a pause as you next come through center. And as we inhale, just sweeping those arms up towards the sky. Like we're stretching first thing in the morning, really reaching tall. Exhale, bringing those hands down through heart center and Jali Mudra. When we next arrive here, next inhale, we're just going to open through the chest. So we're cactusing, open those arms, shining chest forwards. As we exhale, allowing ourselves to round through the back, almost taking thumbs to third eye. And we're bowing down. So just taking two more of these. Inhaling to open up. Exhaling to round and close off. Just taking one more. Inhale, opening. Exhale, rounding, closing. Next inhale that we find, just coming back up through center. Inhale, drawing those arms up towards the sky again. Exhale, pushing those palms together down through heart center. Next inhale that we find, rising up to high kneeling. As we exhale, sweeping those hands behind us so the palms go towards the sky, forehead comes down to the mat. We're coming through a child's pose. And as we inhale, just starting to reach those fingertips towards the front of the mat first. And then we're going to roll the body forwards and then down. So we're finding the belly on this exhale. As we inhale, head, chest peeling up, coming into this baby cobra. Maybe fingertips come off. As we exhale, tucking under the toes, rolling the body back, coming into a downward facing dog. So this might be the first one of the day. It's definitely the first one of practice. So taking a stretch, taking a pedal out through the feet. Any movement that feels nourishing here, just allowing the body to take. Really listening, just being intuitive. Eventually coming to find that stillness. And when we're ready, dropping knees, untucking toes, allowing the hands to just sweep the floor, coming back towards you, resting on the thighs again. So we're going to take that same sequence twice more. Option to take this with your eyes closed so it can feel a bit more like a moving meditation. Just feeling safe and knowing where we're going. So inhale, we rise up, high kneeling. Exhale, hands come behind us, palms towards the sky, forehead down, child's pose. Inhale, arms start to reach forwards. We roll the body forwards as we exhale, coming down towards the belly. Inhale, head, chest lifts, baby cobra. Exhale, tucking under the toes, rolling back, downward facing dog. Again, maybe pedaling out through the feet. Maybe it's nice here, option as well, to, as we inhale, just rise up onto the toes. As we exhale, drawing the heels down. So maybe taking 2 more of these. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, releasing down. 1 more, inhaling up. Exhaling down, and then when we're ready, dropping knees, untucking toes, coming back to this kneeling position. So taking that sequence once more. Inhale, we rise up, high kneeling. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, fingertips, hands start to reach forwards. We roll that body down. Exhale as we find the belly. Inhale to lift up, baby cobra. Exhale, tucking under toes, rolling back, downward facing dog. Again, really asking the body what it needs here. So maybe it's that movement, maybe it's simply stillness. We're drawing those heels down towards the mat. They don't have to reach, it's just an idea of where they're going. Taking a nice releasing breath here, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, dropping knees, untucking toes, coming back to kneeling. So we've started waking up, creating that heat through the body. From here, we're going to just take a toe stretch. So leaning forwards onto the knees, we're going to tuck the toes under and just start to lean back. So we're coming back towards the feet. Now it might be that this feels super intense. If it does, feel free to bring the body forwards and to bring the hands down to either side. Or maybe you've got blocks either side to rest the hands on. If this feels really good, getting the stretch out through the feet, maybe just resting the hands on the thighs. So just staying here with that breath. And then starting to get a stretch out through the ankles. So taking those hands back down in front, untucking toes. And we're going to allow ourselves to rock back onto the tops of the feet. So just finding somewhere comfortable. This might be easier with the knees a little bit wider. And we're going to allow the body to lean back. So we're almost starting to just lift the knees off the mat. Again, this can be one that feels super intense. If you need the hands down for that support, just allow them to be there. If not, maybe you've got the hands rested on the thighs. Just pausing here, noticing sensation through the body. Taking 1 more inhale. As we exhale, using those hands, just gently releasing down. And we're going to come forwards into a tabletop. So stacking shoulders above wrists, hips above knees. And starting off by just allowing the body to be super intuitive here. So it might be that you're moving side to side. Maybe you're finding circles. So there's no right, there's no wrong here. Just listening to what the body needs. And also maybe closing down through those eyes. We don't want to be worried about how this looks. We just want to allow ourselves to feel in. If you're early on in your yoga practice or your yoga journey and this feels really counterintuitive to just not be listening, to not have that instruction, I invite you here to take some cat-cow. So as we inhale, dropping the belly, lifting through the chest, taking that gaze forwards. As we exhale, rounding through the back, allowing the head to hang heavy. So whichever works for you. Inhaling. And exhaling. Taking a few more breaths here wherever we are. When we're ready, we're just going to come into some balances. We're just making sure you've got a little bit of space in front and behind of you. As we inhale, we're just going to sweep the right arm forwards, taking the gaze forwards as well. And just pausing here, so that right arm reaching forwards, noticing how that belly's already engaging. We're strong, pushing down through that left arm. Take another inhale here. Exhale, release that right hand down. Next inhale that we find, lifting that left arm up, reaching forwards, fingertips extended. Taking a nice big breath in. Exhale, releasing, and then coming to take the legs as well. So we rock that weight into the hands a little bit more. So we inhale, reaching out that back leg, either flexing the foot or pointing the toes, whichever works. Exhale, release down. Next, inhale, taking that left leg out behind us. Again, flexing through the foot or pointing toes. Taking a big inhale here. Exhale, release down, and then tucking under those toes, we're moving back towards this downward facing dog. From here, on the inhale, we're going to reach that right leg up towards the sky. Three-legged dog. As we exhale, stepping it in between the hands, we're going to pivot that back foot and inhale, lift the arms up, coming into our warrior ones. We've got a nice bend through that front knee. Inhale, lifting up tall here. As we exhale, right arm goes forward, left arm goes back. We pivot that back foot out slightly, coming into our warrior two. And from here, just staying with that breath. So we're really strong through the feet, grounding down. When we're ready, straightening through this front leg. I'm going to reach the right arm forwards and allow it to drop down on the exhale. So right hand coming to the inside of that right foot, left arm up towards the sky, coming into our Utthita Trikonasana. Now, option here to take the hand onto the ankle or the calf. So we're giving that little bit more of a lift to the chest. So you've got that gaze drishti up towards the left hand. Next inhale that we find, sweeping that left hand forwards and round in this circle, which is going to pivot us round, and we come towards a prasarita. So the feet are now parallel to the short edges of the mat. We're just going to take some inhales here. So as we inhale, lifting up, just straightening through the back, coming to fingertips. As we exhale, releasing down. So taking two more of these, inhaling up. Exhaling to release. Just paying attention to the knees here. So if at any point they feel like they're locking out, just maybe bringing the feet a little closer together, just being aware. Exhale as we come down for our last one. And then we pivot, taking the hands back round, framing this front foot. We step the right foot back, so we're coming into this plank, dropping down to the knees, untucking toes, and just coming to a child's pose. Narrow leg or wide leg, whichever feels most comfortable for you. And allowing the body to move a little here. So we're taking a gentle rock side to side. Allowing that breath, that prana energy into the body. Taking just one more breath here. And then coming back towards this tabletop position. Shoulders stacked above wrists, hips above knees. Coming back to this idea of balance. This time we're going to inhale, take that right arm forwards, taking the gaze forwards as well. And option is to just pause here with the right arm forwards. And then if you feel able to, taking that weight into the right leg and just taking the left leg out behind us as well. So we're really reaching. Almost as if we've got a piece of string, just being pulled, arm pulling forwards, foot pulling back. And then potentially here you could also take that right hand behind you, and if you can, find that grip of the left foot. We're going to push the left foot against the right hand and lift up through the chest, so just coming into a tiger. Staying with that breath, staying with that gaze. So focusing on something that isn't moving can help with that balance. Just one more inhale here. Exhale, release that left leg gently, right hand comes back down. Take a second to recenter. And then coming to the other side, so this time as we inhale, left arm reaches forwards. When we're ready, that right leg reaching back. So long line, hand pulling forwards, leg pulling back. And then maybe you take that left hand behind you, finding a grasp of that right foot. And if you do, pushing that foot against the hand, lifting up through the chest, just staying with the breath here. Taking one more inhale. Exhale, gently releasing down. Taking a second to readjust. And then tucking under those toes, lifting up through the hips, hips drawing up and back, coming back to that downward facing dog. From this downward facing dog, we're going to take the other side. So pushing down through the right foot as we inhale, left leg this time sweeps up towards the sky. As we exhale, we draw it forwards in between the hands. We pivot this back foot slightly so it's at an angle. We inhale, lift up, nice bend through the front knee, finding a warrior one. Lifting tall here through fingertips, taking a big inhale. As we exhale, left arm goes forward, right arm goes back. We pivot that back foot, opening out, warrior two. Gazing out over that front hand. So we want the long edge of the back foot to be parallel to the short edge of the mat. So just taking a check. When we're ready, straightening that front leg, reaching left arm forwards, and then allowing it to drop down on the exhale, right arm reaching up towards the sky, finding that Utthita Trikonasana. We want that space for the chest. So taking this left hand maybe onto that ankle, onto the calf. Allowing yourself that space. Gazing up towards that right hand. When we're ready, inhale, sweeping it round. Allowing the feet to pivot, so long edges of the feet parallel to the short edges of the mat, coming into our Prasarita. And again, taking those undulations. So we inhale, lift up, straighten through the back, coming onto the fingertips. Exhale, release down. Taking two more of these. Inhaling up. Exhaling to release. One more, inhaling. Exhale, and as we release down this time, taking hands, framing that front foot, coming onto the back toes, we step that foot back, so we're coming into this high plank, dropping the knees, untucking toes, coming back to that child's pose. Few breaths here. And it might be that you've got the arms reached out super long, or maybe you bring those hands in towards the head slightly, allow elbows out to the sides, find a little bit more space for the shoulders here. Just staying with that breath. And then eventually inhaling, drawing everything up. And we're going to spin the legs out in front. And come in to a forward fold. We're going to take a Paschimottanasana, but we're going to allow this one to be floppy. So normally when we take a Paschi, we've got the feet really switched on, and we just want to allow everything to release. So taking a wiggle through the toes, wiggle through the feet, through the shoulders. We're really allowing the back to round here. So if you've got a bolster or a block, a cushion, anything that might be helpful here as a bit of support for the head, just allow yourself to use it. Now inhale, just draw those arms up. As we exhale, really allow the body to collapse forwards. So we're really allowing everything to wind down. The feet don't have to be switched on, the feet can be released. Maybe you've got that block or bolster as support for the head. Releasing hands down either side of the legs, palms facing up, that sign of surrender. And just closing down through the eyes. If the attention has wandered, just gently drawing it back to the breath. And as we wind down, just allowing the body to feel heavy. So we don't want any active effort here. We're allowing the body to start to sink down towards the mat. If you haven't got that support for the head, just finding something that works. Pillow, bolster, maybe it's a bolster stood up. Really allowing yourself to have that support as we release out through the back. Few more breaths here. Next inhale that you find, ever so gently taking that head, lifting off whatever support you've got. Just moving any props to the side, and you might keep your eyes closed, using those hands to help you wind the spine back up, and then just scooting forwards. I'm going to come down towards our Shavasana, so rolling down onto the back, and really allowing yourself to find a position that's super comfortable here. So traditionally we take our Shavasana, we allow the feet to fall out to the sides, taking arms either side of the body, palms facing up. And it might be that you know that your Shavasana is better taken maybe on your side, maybe even on your belly. So if there's somewhere that feels more comfortable, allowing yourself to go there. And as we settle here, just asking yourself, if you could be just 10% more comfortable, what would you do? So maybe it's simply placing those shoulders down, picking them up, placing them down again. Maybe it's taking the hands onto the belly or onto the chest. Whatever it may be, just allowing yourself those final wiggles as we find that stillness. And then as we arrive, closing down through the eyes, if they're not closed already. And just bringing that attention, that focus back into the breath. And you might just ask yourself here if the breath feels like it's changed throughout practice. So just comparing. It might be that it feels that little bit deeper now. Maybe reaching down towards the belly. So just allowing the body to settle, knowing that there is nothing to do here. There is nowhere to be. We are simply allowing the body to rest, to reset, to restore. You might choose to just scan over the body from the feet all the way up towards the head. Just notice if there feels like there's anything that's switched on. If the body feels active in any way. And if you can, just sending that breath on the inhale to those parts of the body that feel active, and seeing if on the exhale you can release that tiny bit more. Next inhale that we take, just imagining it moving all the way through the body, so eventually reaching the outermost edges, fingertips, toes. And I invite you here to just draw the knees in towards the chest, taking the arms around the knees and just taking a rock from side to side. Just taking your time here, noticing sensation of spine against the mat. And then ever so slowly taking hands behind the knees and just seeing if we can rock up towards the seated position. So maybe you take a few rocks forwards and backwards, and then coming towards seated, keeping those eyes closed, taking your time. And when you arrive here, just taking hands together at heart center. And taking those thumbs towards the third eye, so just in between the eyebrows, dropping chin down towards chest. And we just take a moment here to say thank you to ourselves for finding the time to practice. And then also we say thank you to the amazing lineage of teachers that have come before us. Just taking one more breath to finish practice, inhaling through the nose. Exhale, release out through the mouth. Just releasing those hands down, gently fluttering those eyes open, soft gaze into the room. So taking your time as you come out of practice here, moving slowly. I hope this was a class that you guys really enjoyed. Please let me know if you did. There are going to be new classes every week on this channel, so if you do feel like subscribing, you will be the first to know when they go live. You can also follow me over on Instagram, and I'm normally quite good on there on keeping everyone updated on when the new classes are. Other than that, I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, and I hope to see you here again soon.